first floor is all boarded up.
Yeah, we faced these guys before.
From the very start, we all knew that Siege would be something different. The showcase of the game's versatile gunfights and environmental destruction completely set it apart from any other game, garnering it a lot of attention. After overwhelming positive feedback about this environmental versatility, another year of development went by. Until finally, on the 1st of December 2015, Rainbow Six Siege was released to the world. Fast forward 2 months, and Ubisoft have now released the very first DLC for Siege, Operation Black Ice, which unveiled 2 new operators, a new map, and an abundance of new cosmetics, including the Glacier skin, which is still one of the rarest and most sought after skins. The main reason that the game gained a lot of traction was because of the heavy emphasis on strategy, because after all, this game had revolutionized the SWAT shooter genre. The dedicated developer team made plenty of good changes, such as being unable to hear enemies shouting, changing objective rotations, reinforcements blocking bullets, and many, many more. Operation Black Ice showed the community what was in store for Siege, and the future was looking bright. With the player base slowly but surely increasing and the variety of gadgets and operators expanding, Siege was evolving into the FPS that everyone was anticipating.
What do you think of the new content?
Well, I was kind of surprised how much it's going to break the metagame actually, and that's the case. That's really what Ubisoft wants, right? But you guys are going to see, you're going to be really surprised at how good those operators are. They're going to be must picks on pretty much any team that wants to win.
With the meta slowly changing, the community's interest in the game was ever growing, and this was clear by the rise in views for Siege content across all platforms.
Yeah. I'm gonna reach over here, make some noise. Come on. Cover.
I don't know which idea is. I don't know what team.
I got switch.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, nice.
One of the absolute game changers for Operation Dustline was the content creation community, with many up-and-coming names such as Matimio, Bull Genius, and many, many more. This content encouraged thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, to start playing Siege.
In the last couple of days, we finally launched our BattleEye anti-cheat client side in beta, and we're super stoked to do that because we know the community has been asking for it. And right now we feel pretty good about it.
Oh, interrogate. Yeah, there you go. Where are they? Get him. Oh, what the hell?
Heading into the second year of Siege's lifespan, there were many issues that started to arise. From broken shot registration to invisibility glitches, Siege had a lot of things to work on.
With a game as complex as Siege, with many systems for sound, destruction, player models and more, there were always bound to be bugs in the game. But regardless of this, a lot of these bugs made the game completely impossible to play, with the most common among these issues being hit registration and server-side issues. With pressure mounting on Ubisoft to fix all of these commonplace issues, in June 2017, Ubisoft delayed the new season, and instead dedicates 3 months to fixing the game entirely. This was the start of Operation Health. Using the pillar system, the developer team at the time made a pledge to the community to fix as many of the issues as they could, therefore increasing Siege's lifespan.
When you look at the number of people that we're having and players we're having every day, health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely critical to the experience of the player. So putting that investment now on health is ensuring that in the long term we're having a better and smoother experience for the players.
Although it was widely memed, and a lot of the new gen players assumed that it didn't help, Operation Health was actually a massive success, bringing way more stability to game servers, tackling the top reported issues at the time, and introducing new content such as alpha packs, one-step matchmaking, and even introducing an elite. One of the most game-changing things that came with Health was the hitbox rework, which finally removed clothing and helmets from the hit registration area on a player model. Although this didn't completely get rid of the issue, it made it infinitely better than how it was before and got a lot of positive feedback from the community.
Henrik! What the fuck? I'm recording that. I am recording.
How many times do I have to shoot him in the face?
Blood Orchid brought one of the biggest updates Siege had ever seen, releasing a new map, tons of cosmetics, a hefty patch list, and 3 of the most unique operators the community had ever seen. Little did Ubisoft know that one of these would change the game forever. Ella's release allowed the community to showcase the power of her Scorpion, mixed with a 3-speed operator, impact grenades, and an insane rate of fire. I think it was pretty safe to say that Ella at release was overpowered. Upon its release, White Noise was already changing the intel meta, introducing operators such as Dokaibi and Vigil, who solely relied on denying intel. During this time, the game also saw an increase of 27,000 more average players. At this point in time, Siege had a very diverse and unique movement system, which allowed players to improve their gameplay and widen the skill gap. Apart from a complete overhaul of pistol recoil, a mute elite, and a few bug fixes for deployable shield collision, that's pretty much all that came of White Noise. It was right here where it all went downhill. Chimera unleashed the most brain-dead, broken operator that Ubisoft could have ever designed, and threw him into the once tactical and skill-based FPS game. I mean, this operator literally gave every single player on a team legal wall hacks, and went against every single core value of the game. This clip from Bolo shows us just how broken his loadout and gadget was when it was used correctly.
With the release of Lion and Finker, also came the start of the worst meta Siege had ever seen. Combine these new operators with the upgraded Blitz, a Jackal and a Ying, you have the most no-skill lineup you could use to absolutely pummel an enemy team.
Cut off. He's also getting Lion, also getting Ying, detected by the E1D. Neo cleans him up.
Dude, impasses BC will get BC4 uneasily. Ryan alive. NVK testing his control key.
A lot of people have very strong opinions on Lion, think that he's completely overpowered, that his gadget is way too strong, and that overall he's just not going to be good for the game.
And it wasn't just the casual community that was critical of Lion, even pro players were questioning him being in the game. However, all of this turmoil eventually led to Lion being banned from all tournaments in November of 2018.
Yes, Justin, Lion is an operator that we faced a unique problem with. We know that he is overpowered, and today the dev team is ready to act on it. Starting next season, we will put Lion in a competitive quarantine, which means that the players will not be able to pick Lion in our esports programs.
Before Parabellum, legal wall hacks were running the game into the ground. But during Parabellum, illegal wall hacks started to overrun the ranked scene, with cheats becoming more and more advanced, and foreshadowing what was to become of Siege.
Not only did cheaters begin to ruin the game, but Ubisoft made huge changes to both the look and feel of the game. Movement changes made the game much more choppy, and a brand new HUD was introduced.
What are you gonna do with that?
It's just like... Dude, they just like chopped my legs off.
Arguably, this change was actually positive because of previous controversies with quick leaning. A lot of people thought that this was a more balanced system for leaning due to Siege's netcode. On the other hand, many long-term, high-level Siege players believed that this lowered the skill ceiling and allowed less mechanically skilled players to compete with the top 1%. Fast forward 15 months, and more movement changes have been forced on the community, slowing down aiming and making the game feel even more clunky. This gameplay, mixed with a fast-paced utility meta that plagued the game all throughout 2019, was a recipe for disaster. With little to no skill ceiling left between players, Siege was destined to collapse under its own poor decisions. Ubisoft was always considered unreliable for transparency and communication, but never before had it been this bad. Instead of putting money and resources into the issues at hand, they moved their crosshairs onto other projects.
They made Siege worse? I thought it was going to be better.
Actually, in the worst state it's ever been.
How? How does that happen every time?
Pros are really upset that Siege is transitioning into a utility game rather than gunfight game, which I think is like pretty true. Like,
Well, yeah, they're trying to make it so that you have to work together and win off of, you know, your character's utility rather than your skill and aim or whatever.
Not only was there issues within the management of Siege, but every single day more and more cheaters were infesting game servers and ruining the experience for players at all levels. Ubisoft did not take enough steps to acknowledge, alleviate or resolve the ongoing crisis. It wasn't until late 2021 that the developers started taking initiative and being more open with the community, releasing consistent ban data and other updates.
No, never. I literally play 800 games in Burn Horizon. I don't think I've ever played a cheater. Like one aimbottom maybe. That's it. The first time I properly noticed that there were consistent cheaters was probably like 2 years ago in Steel Wave or something. Oh, is it shit? I literally can't play the game no more. Because every single game it's like 4 spin ballers or like 7 closets. I just literally can't play. It's cheaters every game. Oh, yeah, I thought they were pretty good. Because I thought they were gonna ban a lot of cheaters. But eventually, you know, turns out to be fucking shit and they ban me and stuff. For them to change, oh, they should change a lot, but they should just start by being less incompetent. That would be really nice. Because they make some really dumb changes. You know, apparently, yeah, when people get like not stat ban, manual ban and stuff, you don't get elo back. So I lost like 400 elo to like Ollie and stuff, and they got banned. And I go shit. Oh.
So, there we have it. A blast through time. And we've ended up here. Rainbow Six Siege is an irreplaceable tactical FPS masterpiece with the most competitive community in the gaming world. But unfortunately, it's a goldmine of opportunity turned into a paradise for cheaters. With a demoralized player base, a quickly declining player count, Siege's future is very uncertain. With more and more players suffering from burnout and cheat developers taking over, there can never be a better time for Ubisoft to look at their hard work, answer the community's call to action, and save Siege. The game we all once loved is being held hostage by incompetent developers, poor choices, cheaters, unnecessary changes, and more. Ubisoft, we, the player base, implore you to re-evaluate the state of the game, restore it to its previous stature. We all know there will never be another game like Siege, and there is no other community like this one. We will not stand by and spectate the decline of this game. This has been the downfall of Siege. Thank you all so much for watching.